Coming up, great news for health, safety, and houses made out of pizza ingredients, plus a shiny brand new segment. Welcome to Total Nileation, your existential halftime, bringing you the news that others will not, because apparently good news does not sell dish soap. I am Nile Segang, aka Optimist Prime. Welcome to the treehouse. Guys, put on your gi and start practicing your crane kicks, because as soon as Mr. Miyagi's out of the dry sauna, the tournament will begin. Is that what tree houses were? I don't know. Again, I never had a tree house, and no one will tell me what was in a tree house. Maybe at this point you're thinking it's just better that he doesn't know, because maybe I'll be disappointed. Maybe it was just like the living room, the den, and one ensuite with a stand-up shower, no bath. Maybe that's what tree houses are, and that's why you're trying to protect me. Guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. You know, it's life. There's a bit of chop, yes, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. Your best. And yes, I said a bit of chop. Maybe right now you're thinking that is a massive understatement because you ignore my advice and you still listen to the news. I don't. I got a kind of a semi-news, I wouldn't say it's a full like blackout, for various reasons, but for the most part, I don't keep track of the news because it's a moving target, keeps driving you crazy. But I hope you aren't keeping track of the news. I hope I'm loud wrong on what I just said and things are fantastic for you. I'm out here doing my best as well. And I guess maybe we should just start the podcast. Maybe we should just start the first segment, because I came up with a second segment. And maybe, guys, there will be even more segments moving forward. I'm trying to flesh it out. I'm trying to bring you something that's not just good news, something that's fun and varied and exciting, where you're like, oh, I love the good news, plus this extra salsa of another segment. Maybe even some guests in the future. We'll find out. But for now, let's get to the meat of it. Let's move straight to the entree. Here for you now, our top 7 good news stories from our home office in Finger, Manitoba. Number 7, in an historic and optimistic act, the Church of Norway has formally apologized to the LGBTQ plus community for its past discrimination. Presiding Bishop Olav Fikse Tveit delivered his heartfelt apology at a significant LGBTQ plus venue, marking a decisive move away from a painful history and toward a future of inclusion. That LGBTQ plus venue? The Leadership Convention of Norway's Conservative Party. This apology culminates the church's remarkable journey of reform, which includes now ordaining gay pastors and performing same-sex marriages. Well, out gay pastors, right? Like, let's be real, they had gay pastors in the past. While acknowledging the grief caused, the gesture is a powerful step toward healing. It stands as a beacon of hope, demonstrating that traditional institutions can evolve and pursue a more just and loving future. Not to be outdone, the Catholic Church stated that in an effort to rectify its past abuses, it will only allow non-hot kids to be altar boys. That's an intense one to start. I apologize. Number 6, scientists in the Netherlands. Oh my God, given where this story is going. Yeah, of course it had to be the Netherlands. Are pioneering a future of sustainable construction with living, growing buildings made from fungal mycelium. This innovative material, which is strong, lightweight, and insulating, can be grown from agricultural waste, offering a radical solution to reduce the construction industry's carbon emissions and waste. The only hiccup came when water from a mushroom faucet caused a family of tea drinkers to be high for 3 days. These fungal materials represent a shift towards smarter adaptive architecture as they can potentially heal themselves and respond to their environment. By controlling the growth of the fungus, researchers envision a future where we can grow entire buildings, creating structures that are not just inspired by nature, but are truly alive and ecologically connected. The most enthusiastic recipients of this discovery? Slumlords, because a self-healing apartment is their wet dream. All kidding aside, though, this, again, an amazing story that is, I can't believe. Sometimes I look up my own rankings and I was like, what are you talking about? Number 6? This is way higher than number 6, but I'm going to be real with you. A lot of times I just write them out in the order that I find them because, we're all in a rush. That's life now, apparently. Of course, the Netherlands. Of course, the Netherlands. Someone was high on mushrooms where they were like, wait, is this a house? But all kidding aside, guys, mushroom houses is, I feel like I'm going crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy because it's like, this is sneaky huge. This is sneaky huge because it takes care of so many issues. So many issues. If this turns into what I think it's going to turn into, you can grow a house, which there goes the cost of materials. So now, I mean, I can think of one country that I am currently sitting in that has a housing crisis, and there's a lot of just tomfoolery was not the word I was going to use. And so there's that. The self-healing, again, I made the joke, but like, if I could avoid contact with my landlord, who's always putting off stuff, that would also be fabulous. But just the biggest thing, which of course we're also taking care of that in other sectors, but lowering our emissions. Fantastic. Fantastic news. That's just number 6. Number 5. A landmark, easy for me to say, report reveals extraordinary global health progress, with COVID-19 now ranking as the 20th leading cause of death and life expectancy rebounding in most countries. This success is the result of decades of work demonstrating a new level of human resilience as deaths from major infectious diseases have plummeted by up to 60%. A lot of that, though, was just RFK Jr. getting off the dating apps. It's a fixation now. I don't even know why, but this guy is under my skin, much like the brainworm. For the first time in history, non-communicable diseases like heart disease have surpassed infectious diseases as the primary health challenge. This shift is a direct result of our monumental progress, and the new goal is to build upon this success by recalibrating health systems to meet the next frontier. I was gonna make a joke here, but that just hit me because again, sometimes I'm just speeding and racing through just to write out the jokes, but what the hell? This is I always think that it is important to really underscore and really lean into the win when the words first time in human history come up in a positive way. That is to imply that before today, before 2025, infectious diseases were the primary health challenge. And now they are not, which is not nothing, guys, because a lot of people in developing nations were dying unnecessarily of infectious diseases, and now way few of them are. Way few of us are. So that's an exciting one. Number 4. Oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. I think you're going to Google this one after I'm done. You're going to be like, there's no way this one's true. Despite alarming headlines, new data reveals that organized political violence and extremism in the US are actually in a significant decline. Key metrics show that public demonstrations and extremist groups' activity have plummeted, reaching multi-year lows. This positive trend suggests the nation is not descending into the widespread civil strife many may fear, and one man hoped. This decline appears to be driven by a sense of political efficacy, as some groups feel their goals are now being advanced through mainstream institutions rather than street-level mobilization. While the threat of isolated violence remains, the broader encouraging shift is away from mass mobilization and toward a less confrontational political landscape. I know you might think this is bad news because this means that they think the government is doing their work, but guys, I think we can all agree if you want to kill a movement, have it convert to politics. In 10 years, they're just going to be sitting back, like, just being like, what? What? No, I voted for that guy and he's not killing everybody. I don't want to go buy more tiki torches. I don't. I got football today. That is from, by the way, the what is it? The Southern Center for Poverty, something like that. I can't remember. It's a major organization, so I'm not making that up. Number 3. While wealthy nations have retreated from foreign aid, a promising new model for global development is emerging, led by the countries themselves. This approach is more sustainable and effective, leveraging technology, private investment, and national budgets to tackle fundamental issues like electricity access, school meals, and healthcare. This is, of course, horrible news for the virtue signaling industry. Honestly, if North America doesn't have developing nations to look down on, how will we feel good about ourselves? Accomplishing stuff? That is commie talk. Initiatives across Africa and Asia exemplified this shift, focusing on self-reliance and economic returns. This new path has overwhelming public support, surprise, and demonstrates that the mission of advancing human dignity is evolving into a more collaborative and empowering effort for the 21st century. In a related story, Sarah McLachlan has filed for bankruptcy as the use of Angel in manipulative commercials has plummeted. In the arms of an This is great, by the way. I felt this was inevitable, and it's one of those moments where you give negative credit to somebody because partly this is due to Trump being a dick, but he didn't intend that. But I feel like this was happening either way. This was going to happen anyways, but cutting stuff like USAID, like, again, these countries, these development nations, they're not NPCs. Like, check the news. They've made relentless progress in the past few decades that we do not know about because it doesn't involve us feeling better about ourselves. So I don't know. Don't get me wrong. USAID and stuff like that is great if you can get it, but it's non-essential. And I really like the fact that they're going to be standing up on their own 2 feet. It's going to be nice. Number 2. Scientists from MIT and Harvard have made a promising breakthrough in cancer treatment by engineering powerful CAR-NK immune cells that can evade a patient's immune system. This innovation allows for the creation of off-the-shelf treatments from healthy donors, which could be made readily available to patients much faster than current methods. These new cells that avoid interference from elements of the thing it's trying to help were initially called RFK Dodgers for obvious reasons. I wonder, maybe one episode I'm going to see how many RFK jokes. Maybe I can just do a run straight of RFK jokes. It'll be like a concept album. In tests, these newly engineered cells not only lasted longer and were more effective in destroying cancer, but they also demonstrated as a much safer profile with a reduced risk of side effects. This advancement paves the way for more accessible and safer cancer immunotherapies for a range of diseases. This is bonkers, right? Like, am I wrong? Again, I might not be remembering clearly, but I feel like this is the second episode in a row that we have had massive health news, like massive health news. Granted, last episode, okay, now I remember. Last episode was the news out of China, which was, that was a closer. That was almost a, pardon me. That was almost, I'm done with this podcast because no good news story is going to be able to follow that. But still, I'm saying between that and this, good news for cancer survival rates and probably a range of other diseases, as was mentioned in the story. And I wish there was a way for us to appreciate what didn't happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm almost positive that cancer rates are just going to keep dropping to the point where cancer will become a very rare thing. Like the rare forms of cancer will just be all cancers because cancers will be rare. And we won't appreciate it. Just the same way that right now in my regular day-to-day life, I don't appreciate that there is very little chance that I can die from a gum infection when I get a cavity. That was a thing like 100 years ago, but it isn't now. Now it's like what are you talking about? That's insane. But that was a real thing just 100 years ago. And I wish we could just really take time to appreciate stuff like that. I do, but maybe most people don't. I'm a weirdo. But maybe you should take some time to do it. Yeah, putting that up there. Number 1. Substantial, measurable progress is being made in improving lives and creating economic opportunities worldwide. Recent data shows that hundreds of millions of people have been directly impacted. 244 million were supported by social safety nets, 325 million students received educational assistance, and nearly 370 million gained access to better health services. Critical infrastructure is also expanding, connecting 215 million people to electricity and 176 million to improved transport. This development is actively generating livelihoods and building resilience. Not resiliency, resilience. These efforts have created tangible results, such as over 11,800 jobs in West Africa, and through a coastal management program, through a coastal management program was supposed to be that sentence. There was no and an expected 40,000 jobs created and preserved in the Ukraine. These data points, God damn it, this data points, or I suppose the data points, to a future of even greater reach with ongoing projects projected to bring electricity to 576 million additional people and transport improvements to 524 million. This collective progress demonstrates a powerful global advance in dignity, stability, and economic participation. That was from, there was a report card, I think it was from the World Bank, that's just basically pointing out that just this year alone, huge improvements for that was a lot of people. I feel like those were big numbers. I'm not a mathematician, but I feel that was a lot. Guys, okay, so I came up with a segment that is as much for me as it is for you. So as you well know, as I've said multiple times, I always end up leaving good news stories on the cutting room floor, and it low-key drives me crazy, right? So now what I'm going to do, I've gone back. This little bundle here, this little batch, in case you're wondering, in case it feels dated, is from March of this year, 2025. But I have a new segment called 20 Seconds of Amazing. So basically, I'm just going to ring off a whole bunch of good news stories that I didn't mention in the episode way back earlier this year. I'm going to try to ring off as many as possible in 20 seconds. I got my little timer here. I don't know if you're going to hear the audio because probably not. Like the software is going to edit it out. But you'll hear me gasp and sigh in just exasperation because I won't be able to get all of them off. I don't think. We'll see. And maybe if I'm feeling frisky, maybe I'll put the ding ding audio in post, but I probably won't. Here we go. You ready? 20 seconds of amazing. Oh, let me find my place. I lost it. That would have been 5 seconds of me finding it. Here we go. Oh shit, I lost it. God damn it. China restored and regreened 240,000 square miles of dead land in the Loess Plateau over decades. Global cereal yields have tripled in the past 60 years. Boston Metal has successfully produced over a ton of steel using electricity instead of coal, potentially decarbonizing one of the world's most polluting industries. Greece, son of a bitch! That was, how many was that? That was like 3. I think maybe next time it'll be 30 seconds. You know what? We're going to start again. I'm going to make it 30 seconds and I'm going to see if I can finish off the other stories. I think I'll be able to do it because okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Shit, I did it again. Where are you? Greece's Mediterranean monk seals are back from the brink of extinction. UNICEF has almost single-handedly prevented the collapse of Afghanistan's healthcare system. Astronomers are predicting an avalanche of discoveries, unquote, potentially revolutionizing our understanding of the universe thanks to the Euclid Space Telescope. Utility-scale solar generation is up. In the US is up 46% in the first 70 days of 2025, so Trump can suck it. Global EV sales are up 30%. Yeah, I did it. That was it. That was the last one. Okay, so that was like 50 seconds of amazing. Plus a lot of fuckery, and I had to go back. Anyways, yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that little rapid fire. Pop, 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 pop. Guys, that's it for the episode. I know this one was a little shorter, I think. A lot shorter. I'm thinking. I'm gonna be redoing. I know I keep saying that, but I'm now. I got some tweaks on the way. I'm gonna add some extra content to the newsletter now. So now the newsletter will link up to just like a recap of some extra good news stories from the month. Just because. So please remember to rate and review if you have not already. Sign up to said newsletter, as I just mentioned. Follow me on socials at Nileation. My Dungeons and Dragons podcast, Communities and Dungeons Getting Dragons, drops next week. So please check that out. And again, if you can, the show, if you had a good chuckle, if this helped you in any way, shape, or form, and you can afford it, please consider joining my Buy Me a Coffee Club thing at buymeacoffee.com/Total Nileation. Any questions, comments, email me, totalnihilation@gmail.com. And again, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode. If I haven't, I'm doing a little something called Liberation Day, where I'm trying to get our government to have a lottery on July 7th, where we draw the name of one Canadian billionaire. And that billionaire will have their assets nationalized and given to the poorest Canadians. Go to nilesagang.com if you want an email template. I've sent my emails. I haven't heard back, even though I did receive an email from what I presume to be an intern working for my MP saying that they would get back to me in a few days, and they have not. So I'm probably gonna have to email them. And that is it, guys. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're well. If you cannot be a shining example, remember, be a terrifying warning. Let's get it on 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3.